Hello and thanks for joining us for our late night newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom. Our starting point tonight is North Korea's Workers' Party Congress, now into its second day in Pyongyang. The North's young leader, Kim Jong-un, and the rest of the party's leadership had a full agenda on Saturday, but we're still awaiting details about it. On the first day, Kim touted his country's nuclear achievements. Connie Kim starts us off.
North Korea is reviewing the workings of the party's Central Committee on the second day of the once-in-a-generation Congress. And its thought officials have been spending Saturday revising party rules considered more important than even the North's constitution. North Korea kicked off its 7th Workers' Party Congress in nearly 4 decades on Friday morning under the watchful eye of Kim Jong-un, but did not reveal any details of the event until late that night. Dressed in a Western-style suit and tie, Kim hailed the great success of the regime's nuclear and long-range missile tests early this year.
We achieved great success with our first hydrogen bomb test and the launch of the observation satellite Gwanmyeong-4. They raised the dignity and might of North Korea to the highest level.
Kim also stated that he'll use the Congress to showcase North Korea's socialist success and continue his family's legacy.
This Congress is a historic opportunity. It marks a new milestone in the struggle to consolidate and develop the glorious party that adheres to the ideology of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. It also completes the great achievements of socialism.
What North Korea's highest-level meeting still has in store remains a secret, but a South Korean official says Kim's speech hinted that he'll reaffirm his Pyongyang policy of seeking nuclear weapons and economic development in parallel. There is also growing speculation the North will officially declare it as permanent nuclear state status, in defiance of the international community's call to denuclearize. Other developments to watch include Kim Jong-un being elected to the top party post and the selection of a new central leadership. Kim is looking to build on his own power base to formalize a rushed power transition following his father's sudden death in late 2011. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
The Workers' Party Congress in North Korea was convened to usher in the Kim Jong-un era, looking to consolidate his hold on power. The young leader has given plum party committee jobs to officials that help develop Pyongyang's nuclear and missile programs. Lee Ji-won has the details.
Workers' Party members who contributed heavily to North Korea's recent nuclear test and long-range missile launch have been given positions on the party's 7th committee. Park Do-chun, a former party secretary in charge of handling the North's missile and nuclear development, Ju Kyu-chang, a former director of the party's relevant department, and Jo Chun-ryong, chairman of the Second Economic Commission, were among those bestowed positions on the committee, giving them much power and influence. The three have played key roles in the regime's nuclear weapons development and have been targeted by UN sanctions. Their promotions are seen as rewards for this year's nuclear test and long-range missile launch, which Kim Jong-un identified on Friday as major successes of his reign as supreme leader. Watchers say Kim's younger sister Kim Yo-jong may be promoted to the department director of party's propaganda and agitation department from her current vice director position. The 29-year-old is able to take such a significant position at a young age as the blood descendant of Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea, conferring her the legitimacy to rule. In addition, she's carried out 7 of Kim Jong-un's public activities this year alone and has been earning his trust since 2014. Pundits say she's highly likely to be promoted when voting takes place on the last day of the party congress. Up until now, aides close to Kim Jong-un's father, Kim Jong-il, had accompanied the young leader. But with Kim Jong-un to announce the beginning of his era, attention is focused on which young officials Kim will choose to be part of his inner circle. Lee Ji-won, Arirang News.
The United States has urged North Korea to come out of the wilderness by giving up its nuclear ambitions. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest says North Korea has faced increasing isolation as a result of its development of nuclear weapons and systems capable of delivering them. He said the North's pursuit of weapons programs has undermined its already weak economy. The official added that Pyongyang can emerge from its isolation if it renounces its nuclear weapons and demonstrates a clear commitment to ending its provocations. South Korea and the United States have agreed to up the pressure on North Korea as Pyongyang vowed to continue pushing ahead with its nuclear missile programs. The South Korean government says Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se and US Secretary of State John Kerry expressed strong concern over the North's apparent determination to continue its nuclear and missile development. During telephone talks on Saturday, the diplomats also agreed to keep sending strong warnings to deter additional nuclear tests and provocations by the North. Minister Yoon and Kerry also agreed to strengthen sanctions against the regime. In his opening remarks at the first Congress of the Workers' Party of Korea in 36 years, Kim Jong-un hailed North Korea's fourth nuclear test in January and long-range missile launch the following month as a boost to the country's dignity and national power. Latest satellite imagery of North Korea's nuclear test site shows the regime might be prepping for a fifth nuclear test. US-based North Korea monitoring website 38 North says pictures taken of the Punggye-ri test site on Thursday showed vehicles at what is believed to be the test command center, though the test site continues to show relatively low levels of activity. 38 North says the presence of vehicles is a concern as they are not often seen at the site except during preparations for a test. North Korea conducted its fourth nuclear test in January and has been threatening to test another soon. Now, Expressways back to Seoul are relatively busy at this hour as people make the trek home as the four-day weekend winds down. The Korea Expressway Corporation says traffic congestion on expressways back to Seoul hit its peak at about 5 p.m. on Saturday, but it will take another 5 hours or so until it's fully back to normal levels. Setting off to Seoul from the southern port city of Busan now would take you 5.5 hours and about 3 hours from the central city of Daejeon. That's about 90 minutes longer than average on a Saturday from Busan and 45 minutes longer from Daejeon. Expressways out of Seoul are running pretty much as normal. Now, the economic slowdown was not enough to stop retail sales of Korean cosmetics growing at the fastest pace in almost 1 year in March. Statistics Korea says retail sales of cosmetics came to almost $1.5 billion in March, up 12.9% from a year ago. The growth was the highest since April 2015. Experts attributed the strong sales to the surge in Chinese travellers to the nation, partially helped by the drama Descendants of the Sun, a hugely popular TV series that was aired in Korea and China earlier this year. Now, the government has turned the former study of a Korean king into a space where the public can learn and reflect on the history of Korea's great monuments. Kim Myo-gyun tells us more.
The Hall of Collecting Jade, or Jibokje in Korean, has been transformed into a public library. Built in 1891, it was once the royal study of King Gojong, the 26th king of Joseon Dynasty and the first emperor of Korea. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism decided the space should be available to the public so they can share in its historical significance. The ministry filled the study with bookshelves, tables and chairs while keeping its original structure. The library's bookshelves hold about 2,000 books and nearly half are related to the Joseon era. It also has 700 historical documents on the Joseon royal family, which have been translated into English, Chinese, and Japanese.
I am filled with emotions because I'm actually at the place where the king lived.
We are learning about the history of Joseon Dynasty in class, and I think reading books here will be helpful in my studies.
The Culture Ministry and the Cultural Heritage Administration plan to do more to enable the public to explore Korea's historic monuments by remodeling other preserved memorial halls and schools into public libraries. Kim Myo-gyun, Arirang News.
Thousands more people are being transported to safety from areas threatened by a huge wildfire in Alberta, Canada, as the province's biggest ever evacuation goes on. The blaze currently extends over an area larger than New York City, but officials fear that it could double in size over the next 24 hours. The fire is being fanned by winds and feeding on dry vegetation. No deaths or injuries have been reported, but more than 80,000 people have been evacuated over the past few days. Dozens of aircraft have been deployed to try and keep the fire in check, but the emergency services say they are hoping for rain to stop the blaze spreading. Now, finally, taking a look at the weather in Korea, and most of the country is under clear skies tonight, and the overnight low Tonight will dip to 10 degrees Celsius in Seoul. Sunday will be another very warm and sunny day, with the high topping out at 27 degrees Celsius in the Korean capital. With that, let's take a look at the weather around the world. Well, those are the stories we have for you at this hour. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out the website arirang.com/news. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.